until you tune yourself first. That is quantum manifestation, not begging the universe to deliver, but aligning to the station where that life already plays. This is where ancient wisdom and modern science meet. Neville Goddard spoke of living from the end, embodying the emotion of your wish fulfilled. Today, Joe Dispenza teaches how brain and heart must unite, broadcasting a single signal to the field. Abraham Hicks calls it stepping into the vortex, that emotional zone where resistance fades and receiving begins. Here's the deeper issue. Simplicity unsettles the ego. We were taught that worth comes from effort, that growth requires pain, that success demands struggle, yet in the quantum model, it reverses. The harder you chase, the more you confirm lack. The more you force, the more you build resistance. That's why this teaching is called Manifestation is Simple. That's why few understand it. Because simplicity isn't flashy. It isn't easy to sell. It isn't dramatic, but it's where the shift begins. In the coming parts, we'll dive deeper. We'll uncover how to rewrite your vibrational code, how the field echoes your internal state, and how to finally embody the self who doesn't chase, but attracts. But before that, pause with this. The reality you long for already exists. Quantum theory says all possibilities coexist. Your single role is to collapse into that version, not with force, but with frequency. So, release the chase and begin embodying. Not someday, not when wealth arrives, not when love shows up. Now. That's when the field replies. If the outside world is a mirror, what is it reflecting? Many approach manifestation like a checklist. Visualize daily, repeat affirmations, write it 10 times. Though useful, these routines often become mechanical. Shallow efforts to fix a mirror without changing the face. The truth is the field doesn't mirror what you say. It mirrors who you are. And being isn't performance. It's not pretending to feel rich while fearing bills. It's not claiming trust while worrying about timing. Being is alignment, the harmony between your inner state and the life you want to step into. Joe Dispenza explains it this way. Your thoughts are electric, your feelings magnetic. Together they form a broadcast to the quantum field. That field, holding infinite realities, starts arranging based on the signal you emit. Not your desire, but your state. Let's make it simple. Imagine you want financial ease, but you feel anxious, constantly checking accounts, expecting failure. Your broadcast is scarcity. Scarcity won't call in wealth. It multiplies scarcity. The field doesn't judge. It only echoes your energy. Here's the twist. The strongest way to shift your signal is not to chase a new future, but to embody it. To feel it now. To rehearse the energy of your chosen life until it becomes normal. Not pretending, but remembering. Because in the infinite multiverse, that version of you already is. And when you emotionally and mentally align, you collapse that timeline into matter. This isn't wishful thought. Neuroscience proves the brain rewires with rehearsal. Picture a future, feel gratitude, joy, calm, and your brain builds circuits as if it's real. Repeat until your body trusts the future before it comes. And when the body trusts, the field answers. Neville Goddard taught this long ago, saying, assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. He never meant fake it. He meant fuse with it. Let your desired state feel more real than your current one. Let it be so natural your nervous system adapts. Because here's the hidden truth. Manifestation isn't asking life for favors. It's merging with the self who already lives that outcome and bringing it into now. Not through effort, but resonance. And once resonance stabilizes, the field mirrors it back as life. There's a pivot when you stop searching for signs and instead become the sign. When you stop waiting for synchronicities and start living synchronized, reality bends, time compresses. Events align effortlessly, not from luck, but from coherence. In quantum science, observation collapses probability into matter, but observation infused with trust has far more power than one tainted by doubt. So ask yourself, which reality are you consistently watching from within? When people say act as if, It's not about faking boldness or pretending to be another. It's about stepping into the emotion of someone who already knows. Someone not waiting for proof, but carrying certainty ahead of evidence. That's the beginning of mastering frequency. And when you do, you don't attract life. You generate the pull that brings it. Now that we see the field doesn't hand you what you want, but what you are, the next step is asking, how do you collapse possibility into form? Quantum science shows every dream exists in superposition. Your career, wealth. They're not distant maybes. They're present potentials waiting for your choice. But they don't materialize from thought alone. They manifest when focus, backed with feeling, collapses the wave. Not casual focus, but one infused with belief, trust and alignment. When you feel your future as real, you stamp it into the field. You don't chase, you stabilize, and the universe shifts. Joe Dispenza teaches that coherence is required. Synchrony of brain and heart. Most people live in scattered thought and conflicting emotion. They think wealth but feel lack. Their actions stem from doubt, and so the field gets no clear signal. But in coherence, the signal sharpens. Mixed messages vanish. You broadcast certainty, gratitude, trust, the code of one who already is. Biology confirms this. Each emotion releases chemicals. Gratitude brings dopamine and oxytocin. Trust brings serotonin. These are not just moods. They alter your state of being. And that state is your magnet. If you can summon these emotions without waiting for external proof, you reclaim power. You stop reacting to life and start directing it. This is how reality bends. Neville said, "Assumptions harden into fact." He meant that consistent emotional expectation creates a pull that reshapes your world. Outside mirrors inside. And this isn't philosophy. It's quantum physics, proven through observer effect, entanglement, coherence. The observer effect proves what you focus on expands. You're not just watching reality unfold. You're molding it with each thought, feeling, and choice. So how do you hold the state? This is where people fall. They feel it briefly during meditation, then slip back into doubt, distraction, and old identity. That's like planting a seed and uprooting it daily to check progress. Manifestation needs energetic steadiness, not flawlessness, but returning again and again to the self who already owns it. In thought, in feeling, in action. Walk like it. Decide like it. Every moment of coherence compounds. Each time you choose trust over fear, presence over distraction, you reinforce the imprint. And once stabilized, life replies with synchronicities, timely chances, inner nudges, clarity, people showing up at the perfect moment. It's not magic. It's resonance. You'll know collapse is close when it settles in your bones, not as restless impatience, but as steady knowing. That's when you stop asking when and start feeling now. You move from hoping to authorship, from possibility to embodiment, and then a shift unfolds, not only in outer events, but in your lens. You no longer crave validation, because your vibration is the proof. The wave has collapsed, and the vision now reflects you back. Once you begin living from the end, not toward it, everything changes. Yet this is the place where most stall. Not from disbelief, but from not knowing how to embody. They try to think change, not feel it. They expect new lives while replaying old patterns. But the field doesn't echo hope, it mirrors certainty. Quantum manifestation isn't about positive thought until magic appears. It's about sensing with the timeline you seek. That version of you is already alive. You don't build it, you select it by tuning in. You'll know you're aligning when you stop needing proof. When you release the chase for signs, guarantees, outcomes. When you become less reactive outwardly and more centered inwardly. Abraham Hicks says, you can't get there from there. Meaning, you can't manifest freedom or peace from urgency or fear. You must begin choosing and especially feeling as if already there. And then the magic begins. You start receiving new thoughts. Not forced, but belonging to that version. Intuition heightens, paths open, synchronicities grow undeniable, reality softens, time shifts. It feels as though life races to meet you. Joe Dispenza shows that high-frequency emotions, gratitude, love, awe, bring brain and heart into gamma coherence. Here your nervous system welcomes new patterns, your field becomes magnetic. Manifestation feels effortless because you've become the portal for it. That's why the mantra is stop chasing, start attracting. It's not effort, it's calibration. If you've ever had everything click into place, an opportunity at the right time, someone voicing your thought, a coincidence too sharp to ignore, you felt the field responding to alignment. Now imagine living this way by choice. That's the path here. And now, let's talk to your subconscious, because there's a reason this finds you today. Maybe you felt your desires take too long, blocked, misaligned. But truth is, you're closer than you realize. Hearing this now proves your field is shifting. You are not broken. You are not late. You don't need to chase. You need to stabilize the self who no longer runs. The one who knows, who carries quiet certainty. That version already exists. Each moment you remember it, you close the gap between here and there. So let this moment be the shift, from trying to remembering, from waiting to embodying. Let this be your quantum leap into becoming. Anchor this with action. If this resonates, if you feel the stirring of your next level, comment 77 below. Why 777? Across traditions, 77 symbolizes divine alignment, a vibrational key showing your path is unfolding as it should. Seeing 777 is more than a sign, it's a reflection, a confirmation that your field is vibrating with higher potential. So when you type it, you're not just engaging, you're activating, you're locking coherence, you're amplifying resonance for yourself and for others. That's how the field works. It multiplies. So go ahead, type 777, watch who else joins, watch what shifts in your world after. Let this be your broadcast to the universe. I no longer chase. I attract, because I already am. The quantum field whispers to every willing ear, nothing is missing. Every version of your life, every path, every possibility already exists. It's not built by struggle, it's tuned through alignment, and the shift doesn't take years or rituals. It begins the instant you stop searching outside and start embodying within. Realize this: the life where your desires are already true is not far. It's right beside you vibrationally. You don't leap to it. You stop echoing the one you're done with. This is what Neville meant with, assume the wish fulfilled. It's not fantasy. It's the science and sanctity of self-selection. You're not asking life to change. You're declaring this is who I am, and the field, loyal to coherence, reflects it. But you cannot fake it. You can't proclaim abundance while rooted in fear. You can't repeat affirmations from doubt. You can't meditate on new life while clinging to old habits. The field ignores surface. It hears vibration. That's where your true leverage lies. So how do you live from it? You choose coherence. Again and again, devotionally. As a lifestyle, you speak different, walk different, treat self and others as if it's already so. Soon, you aren't acting, you're being. That is the quantum code of manifestation. Few mention it, not because it's hidden, but because it's simple. Too simple for minds addicted to complexity, too gentle for cultures addicted to effort. But in that simplicity hides power. The more you let go of forcing, the more reality shapes itself for you. Trust this. Stop waiting for proof. Become proof. Remember, the greatest manifestations don't arrive with fireworks. They slip in through ordinary moments, felt as breath, peace, certainty. The universe whispers when delivering what you've already claimed. So ask, what if the change you wait for is waiting on you? What if your next reality is watching now, waiting for the signal I'm ready? Collapse the distance. If that touches you, share your experience below. Write your affirmation. Let this page be more than content. Let it be a field, a portal. Words here act as anchors in the quantum. As you read others, know you are not alone. We are a movement, a wave, a shared coherence. And your alignment strengthens all. If this stirred you, subscribe. not just for teachings, but connection. This is sanctuary for those listening. You are not learning power. You already are power. You are not figuring out manifestation. You are remembering how life replies. And the instant you stop chasing and start aligning, manifestation ceases to be effort. It becomes natural. And that's when it turns magical.